Dead gruesome. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
Could you imagine if I did that voice the entire time? My throat would be destroyed. Not gonna do that. Anyway, like I was saying, we're looking at Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. This is a game that should have failed. It had everything against it. There's two things in the gaming industry that are guaranteed failures. That is spiritual successes. They always fall flat on the face. They always have like the director of a franchise or some kind of high up executive that has got the heart in the right place, but it just doesn't have the right ingredients to make a spiritual successor. It's very rare that those things succeed. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying when you hear that, you're like, one of those, eh? And the other thing was, it was a Kickstarter campaign. Now, I didn't personally back this. I can't remember the time frame of this happening, but I'm fairly certain the Kickstarter for Bloodstained came out after Shenmue 3. Now, if you don't know, I backed Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3, I do not regret backing Shenmue 3. It was a game that I said I would back long time ago. I always said if it came to like crowdfunding, I'd back that game because I want to know what happens next. That game is horrendous. That is not a good game. Shenmue 1 and 2, some of the best titles out there, but Shenmue 3, ugh. Don't know what happened there, but we're not talking about Shenmue, we're talking about Bloodstained. And Bloodstained surprises in every way, shape, and form. It should not be this good. Now, this is a game that I bought day one, because no matter what, I was going to buy it. And I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing or anything. I just kind of like went through the motions, beat it. It was just like, I guess it's just another Symphony of the Night game. It's just one of those games. But for whatever reason, that Igavania style of Castlevania has really clicked with me this year, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. So I went back and thought, you know what, I'm going to give Bloodstained another go. Just before I jump deeper into the Castlevania lore, I'm going to give Bloodstained a try again and see how I feel about it. And lo and behold, after like 40 hours of abusing this game, I ended up with a platinum trophy. I had to go for it. I ended up really falling in love with this game. It's not perfect. There's some weird design choices. I don't like, some of the characters aren't that good, but I do like the storytelling here. Voice acting is a massive step up from anything we've seen in the Castlevania franchise. Come on, man. We've got David Hayter in here playing Zangetsu. That is cool as hell. Miriam, voice actress that does Miriam, I couldn't tell you her name, but she's really good. The fact that we've got Alucard in here, that's insane. Yeah, it's not actually Alucard, but it looks like Alucard. Sounds exactly like Alucard. It's just not him, right? You even get a boss fight with him, and he's a tough mother. He will destroy you. He will, if you're not on the right level, you haven't got the right gear, good gear. But yeah, I went for the Platinum Trophy, and the Platinum Trophy sucked balls, I'm not going to lie. Out of all the Castlevania games that I've 100%ed so far, I know you're going to go, well, it's not a Castlevania game. It is a Castlevania game, it's just not in name. Anyway, the item list, that is one of the worst trophies I've ever seen in a game. Like, that just ruined the whole trophy list. Like, I was having fun with the trophy list until I got to the end of it, and I was like, oh no, I have to 100% every single item in the game. Are you kidding me? That's too much. That shouldn't have been a trophy. Other than that, trophy list's not too bad, but that is one of the worst trophies I've gone for. I would have much prefer to do the game again on a hard mode. Don't do that again. Because we all know that this is going to get a sequel, and it should get a sequel. It's in development, right? At least when I googled it, it said it was in development. Seems like a good thing. I'm all for more Bloodstained. It's like, it is the spiritual successor to Castlevania, and if Konami isn't going to do anything with it, I'm glad that this exists. I really am, because Iga's hit it out the park with this game. Hopefully in the next game we can make Zangetsu the main character though. I get it, there's a mode in this where you can be Zangetsu, but Zangetsu is so cool. He's the best character in the game. It's not even close. Just the fact that he looks cool, but it's the fact that David Hayter's doing his voice as well. So that's just awesome. So to have a full game where David Hayter's like yapping about whatever. That's always a good thing if you ask me. Again, control here, it's buttery smooth. It's Castlevania, everything's responsive, everything controls good, the abilities you get, awesome, and they're all like things that you know, like the Black Panther soul from Aria, it's here. Obviously it's not called that, but you can dash across the screen. Double jumping, high jumping, it's all here that you know from Castlevania. Now, it doesn't invert the castle here. It doesn't, but you can invert it, if you know what I mean. It's like there isn't a second castle to explore. It's just that Miriam gets an ability where she can literally turn on her head and like land on the ceiling, which is cool as hell. It adds an extra level of exploration, and honestly, I prefer that over Symphony's like another castle, because although it doesn't bother me now, the first time through Symphony of the Night when it inverts the castle, it is a little tedious because like I've already done the castle. Why am I doing it again to get the true ending? Again, if you know what you're doing on Symphony, it really isn't a problem. But that first time you beat Symphony, that inverted castle's not fun. So the ability to invert the castle is cool. Now, I was saying that some of the design choices with Bloodstained suck. What I mean by that is, so you'll come to parts where you can't go underwater, and you're like, okay, so I need to find an ability. I need to look around the castle, find an ability so she can swim. It's obvious, right? It's always the case. Something that makes you be able to breathe underwater, something that makes you a lead weight so you just fall like under the water and you just walk on the surface of it. You know, just something to get under the water. So you're trying to figure this out, you're running around. I remember when I had it day one, this was a problem back then as well. So you're running around trying to find this ability, it doesn't exist. You're like, what is going on? So you're like, I'm gonna have to Google it. Quick Google search tells you that a random enemy in the water will drop a shard, you will absorb its ability, and all of a sudden you can go under the water. Now keep in mind, the whole game, you've been getting abilities, like actual abilities, from like little altar things. So the idea that it just randomly expects you to understand that one of the monsters has what you require, it's just nuts. Now keep in mind that monster is in the room with you when you're in the water, so it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do? Just stay in there and just hit enemies until it eventually gives you the ability. I don't know what design they were coming up with where that's concerned. It's just a bit weird. It's a little old school in some sense, because there's a bit where you fight a vampire, you get an ability to blood steal. And at first you're just kind of like, yeah, I can drain enemies of the blood and I can heal from it. Cool ability, right? But then you kind of realize, hang on, there's a room with a fountain full of blood. Does that ability work on that? In Lord Behold, it does. It's pretty old school in that sense, where you're just kind of like figuring things out on the fly. And that is cool and old school, and I like it. I really do like that. No hand holding where that's concerned. Could have done without the water thing. But the blood thing was pretty... I felt like it was obvious, the blood thing. Maybe there's someone out there who'll disagree with me and be like, no, that blood thing sucked as well. That is some shitty design. Blah, blah, blah. But it didn't bother me personally. I'm just saying the water thing was a bit silly. It was just kind of like, how was I supposed to know that that enemy, I need to kill it and get it shard? Like, I have to farm it. There couldn't have been a clue. The game does give you clues. You can go back to the village at the start, and Dominique will say, blah, 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 you need to go here and kill something and you'll be able to go further. So you kind of understand where you need to go most of the times. It's not like a Dead Space waypoint marker thing, but for the most part, it tells you what you need to do. Soundtrack, superb. Soundtrack is superb all the way through it. You'll be humming the music. It's old school like that. It's something that new school video games don't understand, is how important a soundtrack is. And Bloodstained never forgot it. It's still doing just as good soundtracks as it does from Castlevania. Awesome. Good to see. Honestly, this game, it really should suck. It was a Kickstarter, a spiritual successor. It's got a horrible trophy list. It really should suck. But it doesn't. It doesn't in any way, shape or form. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's with the top dogs of the Castlevania games, because at the end of the day, I feel like it is, I don't know, leaning too much on Symphony of the Night. It's just kind of like, remember what you could do in Castlevania? It doesn't kind of do its own thing, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's very much, this is from Symphony, this is from Aria, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's very similar in that like that form. It doesn't do anything original, if you will. It's all been done before, but it does it all so well and blends it all so well together that I genuinely don't care. I just had a great time with it. Apart from that item list trophy, why was that in the game? Anyway, that's all I've got on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's a great game. If you haven't played it and you like Castlevania games, I highly recommend it. If you're new here, subscribe, like the video, all that bollocks. But yeah, that's all I got. If you like the game, let me know down below how it makes you feel. Let me know where you'd rank it, where Castlevania is concerned. Do you think this is better than Castlevania? Do you kind of like how everything's just like a greatest hits of Castlevania, if you will? Let me know down below. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll catch you later.